I've got this growing sneaking suspicion that the Holy Grail boutique clean tone I'm chasing is really just a Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue. Yeah. Baby here, welcome back to the channel. I'm continuing to capture my amps, pedals and gear with the Quad Cortex and Nano Cortex. I've moved on to my Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue and having some maybe kind of quite profound realizations. I've also been doing the Brown Eye, Friedman Brown Eye 50 Deluxe with the awesome Bucks and Betty clean channel on it. And so doing these back to back, it's kind of made me wonder and realize, well, as great as the Bucks and Betty channel on the B50 is, I mean, is it that much better than my Deluxe Reverb? And I think the answer in a lot of ways is just no. And it sort of got me thinking, like, just how many people, you know, and how many of us kind of chase that Holy Grail boutique clean tone, only to really end up putting it up next to a Deluxe Reverb in comparison, and it's basically not all that much better. Anyway, these are the thoughts that I've been having. Let me know what you think, and what amps are you playing for this kind of the ultimate Fender clean? Is it really just a Fender, you know, that you pick up used for 700 off of eBay? So like I say, I've been capturing it with the Quad Cortex and Nano Cortex with my favorite settings and my preferred inputs and what have you, and then building out some presets. So what I'm going to do today is break down and go through a preset that I've created for that intro track you'll have already heard. If you want to get these sounds, so if you like what you hear and you want to download it, you can do so over on the Cortex cloud. Follow me on there. The preset, this preset I'm going to break down today, 9 Lives, that will be available for free, and the captures associated with that will be available for free to download. But I do, as always with my gear, I'll do a full capture suite of a full range of settings and channels with the amps. So if you want to grab all of the captures I've done of the Fender Deluxe Reverb, the normal channel, the vibrato channel, across the volume range, different tone settings, etc., you can grab that over on my Patreon. So if you do sign up to the Patreon, and follow me on the Cortex Cloud, let me know your username, and then I can send you the full suite of captures. So my favorite sounds with the Deluxe Reverb tend to fall into 2 categories. First of all, I actually really just like the normal channel. I'm not a huge fan of the vibrato channel, although I have captured it within the full extensive suite. Personally, I think the real tonal sweet spot and the character of the Deluxe Reverb lies within the normal channel. Now, you don't get access to, of course, the vibrato and the reverb, but that's kind of by the by and irrelevant for capturing your purposes anyway. But really, I think the vibrato channel is a little brighter, a little harsher, it's got more gain, it's not quite as sweet. The normal channel to me is where everything really sings so beautifully. So it gets a really lovely warm, but glassy kind of Fender clean. You can push it up into overdrive. Doesn't have as much drive as the vibrato channel, but it still drives up lovely, as you'll hear. And then you can also just take the tone controls right down to 0 and really push the mids forward and get a beautiful jazz tone as well. And all of those sort of tonal characteristics I've captured in the full capture suite. Of the cleans, the overdrives, and the jazz settings. So that's what we're going to be looking at today in this preset 9 Lives. This is just centered around the normal channel and just 2 really lovely captures I think I've made. Now, the preset 9 Lives, this is a little bit sad. I've lost both my older cats in the last few months. So Theodore, he was a rescue Bengal that we got in 2011. He died at Christmas, heart failure. And then Clark, our oldest cat, he was like a local moggy that we got, so he was 16. He similarly, in the last, yesterday, died of also heart failure. Very sad. So I kind of made a bit of a John Mayer-esque sort of sad 12/8 ballad to get me nice and tearful and emotional in them. And this is dedicated to my 2 cats, my big boys. So let's break down the preset and I'll talk you through the settings and the captures and what's going on and my thinking here. I've got screen recording going with Cortex Control. Basically, I'm pretty much always running in hybrid mode, which means, and I set it up so that I've got scenes on the bottom and the stomps on the top. So I have access to scenes E, F, G, and H, and then I've got 4 stomps on the top. So I'll start with the captures. Actually, that's the most interesting, relevant part to all this, isn't it? So I've got on 2 scenes, so scene E and scene F here. It's just switching between the 2 main captures that I'm including in this preset. So I've named the scenes Theodore and Clark. And so on scene E, Theodore, it's going to have the lower gain capture. So this is my library here, the Fender Deluxe Reverb, so normal channel 1, volume is on 6, treble is on 5, and the bass is on 5. And this gives the main clean tone from the main melody that I was using. Now, slight aside here, I haven't actually finally printed and rendered down the intro track yet. I've done all the playing and everything and recorded it, but I recorded the DIs and I haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to use these tones that are actually on the printed version or whether I'm going to reamp them with slightly different settings. So that's the only thing to bear in mind. But in a nutshell, if you were just playing through this preset, this is the clean tone that you're going to get. So so that's the first capture, that's living on scene E here. If I switch to scene F, which is going to be the Clark capture, so this is, I'll just have to change this as well. Yeah, so this is then the same thing with just the volume on 8. Oh no, actually I did adjust the treble and bass ever so slightly. Sometimes you need to do that as you increase the volume in the game because you start to get a little bit of extra accentuations in the tonal range. So what I've done here is take the treble up to 5.5 and just drop the bass to 4.5. And then, so here's the tones for this one. You can hear that, especially with the double stops there. It's overdriving a lot more, even on the neck pickup. On the bridge. And that's what I was using certainly in the printed version as I was playing through for the solo and the improvising. So going between those, so there's the overdrive, and there's the clean. So I think this is what the Deluxe Reverb does so well. It can give you both worlds. I think a lot of other Fender amps sort of excel in one area or another. They'll give you the classic Fender clean, or they'll give you the more driven, tweedy, pushed breakup. The Deluxe Reverb can really do it all, especially if you stay on the normal channel. I find it's equally brilliant for clean, warm, clean tones, glassy Fender cleans, and overdriven tones. For the real higher gain stuff, you'll need a pedal, but you can hear this is on volume on 8. I have got captures in the full suite that go up to volume on 10 as well, and then it's really cooking. You can go all the way through from cleans to clean to really lovely overdrive just on this single channel. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the signal chain. So cab-wise, I'm just using the cab block here. This is using the 1x12 US Deluxe Black. Here on the speaker, I've just got the classic combo, 57 and a ribbon mic. So I've got the position quite far off here. So as you can see, to get that sort of warmer, darker sound. And then the distance is right up on the grill. There's no high cuts or low cuts going on. And so that's the core of the tone. The back end here, I've got the delay, analog stereo delay here that's attached to, I think, foot switch D on the quad. Yeah, in stop mode, yeah, turn the delay on and off. So settings wise there, you can see mix at 17, feedback at 25. Ping pong is off, sync is on, so it's going to get that in time for the tempo of the song. You can see there's other settings there, and that's everything. Trails are on. And then for the reverb, I've got my favorite reverb in the quad actually is the plate lush. So mix at 27, decay at 70, all fairly standard settings there. So then at the front of the amp here, we've got the Optocomp. This, I haven't used any of these yet. So on the playthrough, on the actual playing when I was recording and filming at the same time, I wasn't using any compression or pedals or anything, just the captures and the delay and reverb. Now, as I say, before I actually finish the mix and print this down, I may go through and reamp with some of the pedals. I'll annotate there on the screen exactly what I've done on the intro track. With on-screen graphics, so you'll know if you want to go back and watch that again. But anyway, so I've got the Optocomp here. I find this a really nice compressor. Settings we've got, if I turn that on. In fact, I'll play the it's not adding too much volume or drive or anything. The threshold's down here at 24.9, makeup's on 6. The other settings are fairly normal, fairly standard. As I turn that on and off, it's just giving it a slight bit of grit, but mostly sustained. And then pedals, drive pedals wise, I've got, Blues Breaker, so this is the Marshall Blues Breaker, the Brit Blues, and this is a beautiful tone, and this is why I'm very much on the fence as to whether to reamp or just use the printed, because my thinking behind this was I just wanted you to hear the captures themselves without having any pedals on for the tune, but I think it might suit the actual tune and the playing better with this. So the Marshall Blues Breaker is an amazing pedal. I've got a real reissue down there, and I've done captures of it. But the actual model in the Quad Cortex itself is really, really good, really strong. And it's one of these pedals that works as a beautiful always-on sweetener. So, so actually I think if I turn this on, such a great tone. Hopefully that's translating, but just with the the gain quite low, treble tone up a little bit, and the volume quite cranked, you get this wonderful always-on clean tone. And this is very much what Mayer, I think, has done, to great effect with the Blues Breaker pedal in popularizing it. And it really does work well as this always-on just enhancer. This kind of, it is like an enhancer for your Fender clean tone. So if I just turn that on and off, like if I play a D chord. So there's the capture of the amp. Here's with the Blues Breaker as an always on. It's really subtle, but it's important. It's really, really good. And it gets you that sort of or the don't know again how well that's translating, but in the room there, that sounds so close. Really, really good. So that's what the blues breaker is doing. It's either as an always on or as a little bit of push and juice for the higher gain capture. So that's that one. And then I also tend to love as well the Nobels ODR1. I've come around to that hugely of recent years. And this is an amazing, much more so than a tube screamer. And so I kind of always have this in my sort of cleaner amp captures presets now on the quad. So obviously more drive, and it's just great on as a on top of on a great pedal platform. Yeah, it's such a great pedal. Then you can stack those as well. So they work really well stacked, and even with the compressor. So you can sort of mix and match them, you stack them on either of the clean capture or the overdriven capture. And even in this just quite small scope preset, there's an awful lot of flexibility and tonal variation that you can get. So I'll wind things down now. Like I say, I'll give it one last plug. If you want to grab the free preset 9 Lives, you can do so over on the Cortex cloud. Link down below, and the Patreon's link down below as well if you want to get the full extensive capture suite and the backing track if you want to play along to it. All the other stuff is available in the link in the description below as well. So my fretboard visualization app solo, the fretboard visualization course, my website, Fibonacci Guitars. Thanks so much for watching, for listening, and yeah, I'm going to have another play now. What you'll see is my very first improv solo on my warm-up. I always just film my very first playthrough when I'm doing solo, and then however many takes it takes to get something I'm happy with, it is what it is. But I always like to show and share the very first one as well. So that's what you're going to see now, and yeah, in fact, I might actually go and do some more playing now, just because this it's got me. This track's got me all emotional with my losing my cats. So thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and yeah, see you again soon. Bye.